What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet, and welcome back to Old Ridge Farm in Farming Simulator 15. So, as you can see, we're over here on Field 3 with the last of the corn chop. I really wanted to record all of this corn chop for you guys, but you know what? Between Auto Combine just going completely insane, and a bunch of other little issues I've been having with some automation stuff, I just couldn't do it. I basically had to do it myself. Set up Courseplay to drive to the BGA from the fields that I could actually have it do it, and drive the harvester. I have the harvester on Courseplay, and I'm driving the carter, so we're going to see how that works. I really wanted to show you guys some of this chop. As you can see, all the rest of it is done. One thing I did realize was that I had no way to sort of to rip this stubble. I had a cultivator and I have a power harrow, but I didn't have a disc, so I had to go out and buy a disc, so that cost some money. Stuff you need, right? I haven't grown corn on this map before, so I haven't had to really rip this stubble. I can power harrow alfalfa, and I can power harrow, wheat and stuff. But I'm trying to move more into, real life farming techniques, and I know that this stuff gets ripped, so I needed a disc for that. So I went out and bought the Kneverland Quali disc, I think it is, from the Gold Edition DLC, and it's cool, and it's small, and it's not unwieldy or anything. So anyway, let's get on with this corn chop. All I really have to do here is get into position. As you can see, we're just opening up the field here. Getting ready to get started. We're opening the field and getting ready to finish up this chop, which is good because, it is cold here in Old Ridge. So, the BGA will be glad for the biomass. I'll be glad for the money when that starts coming in. So, and I'm sure the Major will be glad to get his forage harvester back. I've had it for a few days now, between all the other stuff that's been going on and everything. I didn't get this done quite as quickly as I would have liked to get it done, but it's getting done now, and that's all that really matters. Now, of course, we all know the Courseplay is going to miss some stuff in the corners. Maybe not in the first headland, but when he goes around again, he will definitely miss a bunch of stuff. There's not much I can do about that. Obviously, forage harvesting like this is one of those things that unless you use, say, the Mech 6 on the front, like Mike did in his corn chop, you have to automate some parts of it. So that Mech 6 thing for me, it's a little fiddly. I end up making a massive mess with it. So, if Courseplay misses some of the corners, okay, I can live with that. Just to get it automated enough so that I can actually record and, get it done. So today is Tuesday. You guys will see this on Wednesday, and you will have already seen the first episode of the Old Timers on High Peak Farm multiplayer that I'm doing along with Mike, or Mere Man, Reefy 1952, and Shawnee B, or Sean Blaylock. We recorded the first episode Monday night, and it was a lot of fun. It's the first episode. The audio maybe wasn't fantastic. I'm again using Audacity to record my audio. And I'm using Raptor to record the gameplay and the TeamSpeak audio. We're on the TeamSpeak, obviously, so we can talk to each other while we're playing. So, getting the levels right and everything is a little tricky, but it wasn't awful for a first attempt, And I'm sure a lot of hilarity and a lot of, and maybe if you're lucky, even some actual farming will happen during the multiplayer. But it's a lot of fun. It's fun to be playing multiplayer again, Obviously, you guys know I play with Grant a lot. Play a lot of multiplayer with Grant. Grant's just busy, he's got a life and everything, and we will get back to it eventually, at some point. But for right now, I'm full. Now, how am I going to get out of this field? Can I sneak around and go out that way? That would be ideal. Beacons, jump in the cab. But for right now, we've taken a little bit of an extended break, but don't worry, I'm sure at some point we will get back to it, But at least, now we have some... I knew that pull was going to be in the way. At least now we have some multiplayer to watch, and I have some multiplayer to play, and it's a lot of fun. Those guys are great to play with, and it should be a lot of fun. Multiplayer is always a little different than, say... single player, because you tend to just want to have more fun. You tend to goof around a little bit more and whatever, and I would expect some of that, So that's something. There'll be an episode of that every week, as long as nobody has a crisis with internet or with technical issues or family life or whatever. So we should be doing that once a week on a Monday. You guys will see my episodes on Tuesday, and those guys will put them up, whenever they can, I would imagine. So So you get to see all three perspectives of what's going on the farm. Because, you know, that's the thing about multiplayer farm sim. Rarely is everybody on the same field doing the same job. So, you know, it's nice to have more than one person recording so that you can get all the different perspectives of what's going on. What's up, lag? Gonna have some lag, you know. Again, I think I just have too much stuff going on the map right now. You know, and to be honest, I don't really want to take anything off, you know, because all the stuff that I have I like. So I think I'll just live with the lag the way it is. You can see over here our bunker is not, you know, it's not full by any means. I suppose if I brought back up my HUD, we could actually see how full it is. You know, it's not completely full, but it's not, you know, there's a fair amount in there, so 45% full. Like I said, I doubt very much we will fill this bunker up, but at least there'll be something in there to give the BGA something to burn. So now, I want to dump, and I want to go slowly forward. Gonna have to come in and compact all this, probably at some point after it's empty, or after, you know, I get all the corn off anyway. So jump back in, make sure we go out the right way. I'm recording this, well, as you can see, it's about 10 past 12 in the afternoon. I'm giving some serious thought to recording the driving test video next after this, which will obviously probably be an ETS, I would imagine, just because, you know, obviously I need to be able to drive a truck, and that would be the easiest way to do it. So, all right, now, can I drive around and catch up with this harvester and not crash into that pole is going to be the trick here. Let's see. Oh, I don't have soil mod up. Let me bring that up real quick so you guys can see what we're looking at here. The soil moisture is not awful. It fluctuates depending on where you are in the field. The nutrients are pretty good, 5 and 5. You know, not a lot of weeds. I did really take care of this corn because I knew at the time that I planted it, I wanted it for silage for my dairy cows. So I wanted some high quality stuff. You know, and it worked out for the BGA as well. So. Alfalfa, what are you going to do about alfalfa, right? It's just ridiculously high yielding. So I have taken the advice of my ag consultant, and I've started to turn in all the alfalfa. Well, it is all turned in now, except for field 11 north, which isn't fully grown yet. Because, you know, he said with the drought and with everything else, because normally, as you guys know, I just let it sit for the winter, let it wither, and then plow it in the spring. But he said that, you know, with the drought and with the fact that you're not going to plow and everything, that you might be better off, you know, turning it in while it's still green. So that's what I decided to do, you know, to get the fields in as good a shape as we can possibly get them. Now, I believe we're going to do 3 headlands or 2 headlands. Hopefully that's enough, and he won't want to back into this sort of slimy pond that's on the edge of this field back here. Whoops. If I stop crashing into the harvester. Sorry, Major, there may be a few new scrapes on your harvester. You can see we have $66,851. I had a little bit more than that, but I obviously had to buy that ripper, that disc. So that was about $8,500. I pretty much bought the cheapest one I could get. You know, Chad, as always, gave me a good deal, so, you know, he's always been good to me. You know, I spend a lot of money over there, so he takes care of me pretty well, you know. You know, again, something I hadn't really thought about, you know, up until, you know, we started doing the corn was, well, I need to rip this stubble, so, and I don't want to cultivate it so much as I just want to clean up the field. Now, obviously, in the game, it's not going to make any difference. To the game, a cultivator is a cultivator, you know, it doesn't differentiate between just ripping the stubble and, you know, fully cultivating a field. So, how are we going to do this, Courseplay? You going to be all right? You going to make that turn? Yeah. Oh, good job, Perry. You know, Perry's my harvester guy. He knows what he's doing. So, on Court Farm News, you guys probably saw the little Court Farm special I did. You know, where all the other contractors showed up and, you know, started, you know, lifting grass and you know, turning fields and stuff. I do have some news on that. I did find out a little bit about it. Apparently, the sort of main area right around the farm has been bought by a couple of people who are going to turn it basically into a sugar beet plantation. Apparently, they're going to grow, you know, as much sugar beets as they can on those fields. which is going to be really cool when you think about it. And I think probably during the course of the year, I'm going to sneak back down there and try to get some more video of that whole process. But I know there's a lot of stuff going on down there. So, but we will be back down in a couple of days to pick up the bales, sell the last of the crops, which is sort of our, what we were assigned to do. And then we'll be done down there, and then we'll just visit down there on occasion to see what's going on, because I'm curious to see, a huge sugar beet operation. I think that'd be neat to watch. So. Again, if I was brave, I'd do this in the cab, but I'm not that brave, so I'm afraid I'll keep missing, and he'll keep stopping, and, it'll just take a lot longer than it has to, so. I will say one thing about this New Holland forage harvester. It seems to take corners, and it seems to sort of pick up the crop in the edges a lot better than the other ones. Maybe it's the width of the header, I guess. I do have it set a little lower than the actual work width of the header, because I always find that you miss that invisible row of corn. That's always been a thing in Farm Sim. Corn has got that invisible row between the rows, It probably has something to do with the way that it has to be, the way that the layer of corn works, the sublayer in the map XML. So, but, this way, at least it makes good corners, it doesn't miss anything, and you're doing a good job, so. And the yield is pretty good, I must say. So almost once around the field for a full load, so not too awful. Better than over on field 5 and 6, that's for sure. So, and which is odd, because I pretty much took care of the fields exactly the same way. But again, it's all in the starting field condition. The better you can get it, the better your yield's going to be, the happier your crops are going to be, and and that's just how it is. I think I'm really going to focus on this corn chop. Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to have to answer this phone. Actually, no, I'm not. It's just some random number, so I'm not going to worry about it. Again, you never know when the phone's going to ring in my videos, when I'm going to have to answer it, when I'm going to have to not answer it, or whatever. But let me just get rid of that, because it's not only scratchy, but it's just a telemarketer, so I'll just say goodbye to them. Don't call the farm again. I'm busy. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm going to get this corn chop done in this episode. I'm going to really make an attempt to make the episodes a little shorter. Occasionally there's going to be long ones, because a lot of stuff's going to need to be done, and I just get in a groove when I start playing, and I want to get stuff done, and that's always kind of been the way that I play, But I understand too, and I've said this a million times, that not everybody has, an hour to sit down and watch it in one video. So if I can keep them, 20 minutes, a half an hour, or whatever, that'd be great. So. And I will really attempt to do that for you guys. But I don't have to wait, 10 seconds for lag to clear up so that I can, back up. That'll make the videos a little quicker, too. I guess if I was smart, I would back all the way back up now and start filling the back of the pit up. I think that will do. Get dumping. That'll be fine. Make a nice little ramp so we can actually drive up there. And that's that. Very good. 66%. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we might just fill up this one bunker, which will be really good for us, once it ferments and once they start shoveling it into the digester. It may just work out, and then maybe, if we're very lucky, we might be able to buy a field. Whether we buy a field, over the winter, or whether we buy one in the spring, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I want to buy maybe field 12, I think. Again, trying to stay as close to the sort of, vicinity of the main farm as possible. I certainly want to keep expanding the farm. I certainly want to keep expanding my grain crop. Mostly just for straw, just for the simple fact that the herd keeps growing, I want to thank the person who left me the advice about, balancing my herd, about selling some of the older cows. And it's funny, because you'd think that, with the dairy farm experience that I have, that I would have thought about that, right? I would have said, well, that happens in real life. You get calves and they mature up to milking age and calving age and everything, and then you sell off some of the older ones that are maybe not producing as well, maybe not milking as well, and you balance your herd that way. And for some reason, I never think about that in the game. So, but I'm going to start doing that. I'd like to keep the herd at maybe, I don't know. I'm waffling between 150 and 200 cows. It'll probably be somewhere in the middle, maybe 175, somewhere around there. Because I just don't think I can support a bigger herd than that. So once we get the herd to that point, every time I get a new calf, I'll just sell an older cow. And that way we'll always have young cows, that are good producers and everything. And the herd won't get so big that I just can't sustain it. So. But, again, I always, I want to expand the grain crop, for straw, and obviously for profit. So I think this coming season, after the harvest is over and everything, I will not plant alfalfa again. I'll probably do another corn chop, put some more corn in the ground for silage and whatnot. But I probably won't do alfalfa, just for the simple fact that it's just too laggy for my computer. Now, if I somehow manage to build a new computer in the next season of Old Ridge here, that may change. But for right this moment, I'm thinking that it might make sense for me to not plant alfalfa anymore. It's too taxing to my computer, and it affects a lot of other things in the game. So. Things I'm trying to do in Old Ridge. So, and I don't want to be frustrated. I don't want to struggle. I want to enjoy myself. So, all right, where you going, Courseplay? Where you going? How am I in your way? How am I in your way? Come on, Perry, figure it out. There you go. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, very good. Very good. We've made our headlands now, I believe, and now we're going to start going round and round. Hopefully he'll be able to make the turn at the end of the field. This field has got a little bit of turning room on one end and not much on the other. So, obviously one of the very first things we're going to do come springtime is we're going to fix fields 5 and 6. Like I said, I've had the excavators out, the contractors out to dig up the old paved, broken up, busted road that was there, move some hedges, cut down some trees. And now it's ready to be plowed together. I was going to do it in the fall, but I figured, well, you know what? We'll spread some slurry, or not slurry, but manure on it, muck, in the spring, and then we'll plow it in, and it'll be ready to go. Instead of letting it sit all winter, and then I'll have to power harrow it and everything. It can just sit the way it is for now, and we'll deal with it in the spring. Why am I not using cruise control? I don't know. I just like to go, 10 miles an hour and then have to stop. Always one of my more, favorite activities to do in farm sim is, chopping and silage and things like that. It's always something I really enjoy doing. When it works right, it's awesome. When it doesn't work right, it can be a huge pain in the ass. But, again, it's all part of the game. It's all stuff you have to kind of deal with, So if you want to do it, you'll deal with the silliness. Now, obviously, multiplayer, silage is absolutely the best way to go. You have somebody driving a harvester, a couple of carton tractors. The operation never really stops; it just keeps going. But when you're doing single player, you kind of have to make some compromises. In the way that you do it, that maybe is not fully realistic, but doable. Basically, that's all it comes down to with silage: is it doable? So, let's see. Can I get some of this action? Maybe. Obviously, Perry's not flying along. He's not creeping, but he's not flying either. Just because this field is a little odd, you can't really rip through this field. It's not big enough. So, the way it's shaping up now, this may be about a half an hour episode, perhaps somewhere around there. And then we will be ripping all these fields in the next episode, probably feeding some animals. The pig and beef need to be mucked out. They're going to need to be filled up with water and mixed rations and probably some straw. It's been a while since I put straw down there. So, still lots to do. A couple of episodes of winter, and then we'll be into spring muck spreading and all that. I figure that's the best way to do it. I do believe I'm going to keep the growth cycle on soil mod at 2 days per growth cycle, just to, like I said, to slow everything down, to keep it so that I can keep up with it between all the animals and everything else. So, and we are full. Very good. Go out this way this time since we're closest to this exit. You can see over there on field 1, that field had alfalfa on it. I have turned that all in. So that'll need to be power harrowed come springtime, but that's fine. Most of the fields will after sitting all winter and after freezing and everything. You want to break up the soil as good as you can. So I don't particularly like the subsoil for a couple of reasons. One is that my fields are not massive, but they're big enough that pulling a little 2-tine subsoiler takes a long time, and I don't really have a tractor big enough to really effectively pull a subsoiler. So. One thing I did want to talk about is my Facebook. For some reason, my Facebook has gone insane, much like everything else. It's funny. I've been having so many issues with so many things lately that I actually ran, all my like Uber, virus programs and malware and everything. Normally, this stuff just runs in the background. It does its thing, and it stops bad shit from happening to my computer. But I actually went out and ran all the scans. It took a couple of days to see if I had a virus, to see if something was messing with my Facebook and my games. Turns out it's not. Facebook has just gone insane, apparently. And I am no longer able to see my Facebook page or my personal Facebook profile, which I can tell you is really annoying. So what I had to do was I created a new profile, so that I could then make my new profile an admin on the Facebook page, and then be able to see the comments and and everything else you guys leave. So if you guys have left me something on the Facebook page and I haven't gotten back to you, that's why, and I apologize for that. But hopefully that situation is rectified now. I have also added another admin on the Facebook page, a very old friend of mine that I've known for a very long time, who I completely trust. And you may see a couple other people popping up on there as well. Just so in case this happens again, I can still, respond to you guys. Probably the best way of getting a hold of me right now is on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, it's at Bipolar Profit on Twitter. Twitter has not gone insane. Twitter seems to still work. Of course, you can always leave comments on the YouTube videos. I read those multiple times a day. So, you can always get a hold of me that way until I get this Facebook thing fully worked out. It seemed like today I was on my original profile and I was over on the page. It seemed like it's trying to fix itself because it's slowly loading up posts and things like that. So maybe if we're very lucky, Facebook will figure itself out and we can go back to sort of normal operation over there. But I wanted to let you guys know what was going on with that. In case you thought, BP's just ignoring me, I'm certainly not. It's just unless I log in with my new profile now, I just can't see posts and comments and all that stuff. So I can't respond to them, obviously. How do I want to do this? Try to stay out of this little pond here. Yeah, I thought about cleaning these ponds up, but to be honest, they're sort of, it's kind of, part of the area, and I don't really want to mess with it. It may be nice to get the water clear again, but I don't know what would be involved with that, and I don't know if that's money that I really want to spend, for nothing at the moment. I just don't have the money anyway, so, it might be something we think about going down the road, but for right now, I think the ponds will just stay the way they are. There's nothing floating in them. I did pull all the trash and everything out, so. Because that didn't cost any money. That just cost a little diesel for a front loader to pull some refrigerators and old gross tires out and a couple pairs of boots and me having to wade in there and hook chains to stuff. It's amazing what gets thrown in these old farm ponds, and not by the farmers, obviously, but by, just passers-by. Oh, that looks like a good place to dump something, so. And unfortunately, that's what ends up happening, so. So when I first got here, I spent... sort of during the first growing season that I was here at Old Ridge, I spent a couple of days just going around to all the ponds that are on my property and pulling out tires and junk like that, throwing them in a tipper and, bringing them off to be recycled or whatnot. I actually made a little money off it. Not enough to offset the cost of doing it, but, better than me just throwing them in a pile somewhere. So. Because that wouldn't make any sense. I'll just leave them where they are. If I'm just going to throw them in a pile, it makes the problem worse. Gonna have to wash the Major's forage harvester, obviously, make sure it's full of diesel. Don't want to send it back to him half full and dirty, because that's not how he sent it to me. If I'm gonna chop corn every year, which I think I may do now, I'm gonna have to come up with a solution though, because obviously I will put my corn in a little earlier this time around, and the Major, he's got a big old dairy up there, big old chopping operation, and he's gonna need to be able to use his own harvester. So I may have to look at getting one. I don't know how that's going to work out. These things are so expensive, and they're so expensive, to maintain and to operate and everything, that to have one for a little bit of chopping that I do is really not worth it. But I just don't know that I can, handle that Mech 6. It's not the best piece of equipment in the world to use, at least as far as I'm concerned. I know some people like it, but that may be the way we end up having to go. I don't know. I guess we will see. Well, I will say that this went pretty well. We're not quite done yet. Anything could happen, but it looks like this is going to work out just fine. So I didn't miss much, and didn't miss any really. A couple of stocks here and there. That's fine. And the BGA is more than half full. Our bunker of the BGA is more than half full, so they'll be happy about that. That'll be a fair amount of money for us when the time comes. So, all in all, this season on Old Ridge, while stressful because of the drought, and while worrisome because we didn't know how yields were going to be, we didn't know how the grass was going to be, how our milk production was going to be, and of course with milk prices, with grain prices being down, the only sort of break we got this year really was that diesel prices came way down. So we got a little bit of a break there. So it all sort of balanced out. We didn't make as much money as I would have liked to make, but we did okay. We didn't go out of business. We're not in the red. I managed to pay all my payments that I had to pay and everything, and still have a little bit of money left over. So, all in all, it wasn't a horrible season, and I truly hope that next season, is better. So, back to more, say, normal operation. Okay, Perry, you can stop now. We're done. I'll just shut him off here. Reset that. We can get this folded up and get the pipe down. See if the pipe's going to do that crazy thing where it goes around 4 times. Nope. Oh. I will say I really like the animation on these New Holland forage harvesters with the guide wheel and the whole thing. They look really, really good. So, okay, you're done. Thank you very much. And we will hop back into this. I'll move that over to the wash pad after. Probably be the first thing we do in the next episode. We'll wash that up. So the major can come get it. I'll call him and tell him I'm done and tell him thank you very much. And that is Corn Chop 2015/16. 2015 here in Old Ridge. At Old Ridge for another year. So, again, I would have liked to show you the whole thing, but it just wasn't working out, all my automation options had gone pretty much insane. So, I could have done courseplay on all the fields probably, and the next time around I do this, that's probably the way I'll do it. I know most people don't use courseplay for things like harvesting and stuff like that, but I tend to do it because it works, where Auto Combine has just gone insane and doesn't work at all. And it may come right out of the mod folder because I can't really use it. So, I may try it on the Combine again. I don't seem to have as much issues with it with Combines as I do with other things. It is called Auto Combine for a reason, right? So, we were talking about that during the multiplay session when we were recording about Auto Combine and everything. And some people, it worked great and it'll do whatever you ask it to do. Other people like me, it just refuses to work no matter what you do. So, it's just one of those things, I guess. All right, very good. What did we end up with here? 84%, 297,351 liters, and this is all the corn. None of the corn went into the silage bunkers, so this is all the corn on all of my cornfields. So not too shabby, all in all. I do have a thumbnail already for this episode. I'm trying to decide if I like that one better though. No, you know what? We'll keep the one I have. I think I like it. Might as well turn the tractor off. I'll bring that back afterwards. And I'll do my outro. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Again, I'm sorry I didn't get all of the corn chop, for you guys. But at least we got a little representation of it, what I was doing and what it looked like and everything. So, that's it now. The harvest is now completely done. Everything is out of the ground. Everything is chopped and cut and sold and... So now it's going to be a couple of episodes of winter. I'm going to rip all the cornfields, get all the stubble turned in, and all that, and then we'll be probably selling some animals, mucking out some animals, definitely feeding some animals, and things like that for a couple of episodes, and then it'll be spring here in Old Ridge, and we'll start with the manure spreading and the groundwork and everything else, and we'll just keep rolling along. And as always, if you guys want to keep seeing this, please let me know. We're closing up on 100 episodes. I'm going to do something a little special for the 100th episode. You guys are going to have to stay tuned for that. If you don't want to see it anymore, please let me know. If I get enough people that say, all right, BP, that's enough Old Ridge, I don't want to see it anymore, I'll stop. I'll stop recording it. I certainly won't stop playing on it. I love it way too much. As always, thank you for all your tips, your suggestions, your comments. You guys have been massively helpful with my farming, with Old Ridge, with all the farming that I do. telling me how it's done in the real world, telling me how you guys do it on your farms if you live on farms, doing the research, leaving me the tips. That means a ton to me, guys, and I definitely take it all in, and I try to use it as much as I can, as much as the game will allow me to do. That really means a lot to me, and keep that stuff coming. As always, thank you for the likes, thank you for the comments, thank you for the subscriptions. If you're not subscribed and you saw the thumbnail, Old Ridge Farm, and you wanted to check it out, you saw I was chopping corn, and you like what you see, please click the like button, and also please click the subscribe button. It's the best way of being notified of when I make a video, which is pretty much every day, and if not, at the very least, every 2 days. And as always, guys, thank you so much for making me a part of your YouTube day, and this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.